I'm showing you a weekly chart for the E-mini S&P here for the week starting 20th of October. Last week, not bad at all. We were looking for a low for this 3-4 week correction down in the 18.25-15 area. We got that almost perfectly, a low at 18.13. We got a second chance to buy into that on Friday, and we've rocketed from there. The weekly chart, you can see that we've clearly broken this trend line, which goes back to 11th of November, November 2012, getting on for almost 2 years. That trend line, I think that's significant. I think the longer term now looks horribly negative unless we manage to get back above this trend line, which is around the 1955-60 area this week. Then I think things are going to look pretty nasty. I do think we're going to get a decent bounce. I stick with that theory, having called the low at the end of last week, but I do think that we get a decent bounce, but I think eventually that will be a selling opportunity. So I think this is the start of a bear trend. Just flick to the daily chart. Well, you can see, let me see, this was I think Tuesday's high, 1892. That held Friday's high. That actually was our predicted high for the day, and that held perfectly. If we can get through there, obviously we're going to push higher through the 200-day moving average here at 1901.02 would be useful, and some more targets are on today's reports, of course, and will be updated throughout the week. And I think sooner or later, I think we'll push higher, significantly higher, and I think we're then looking for a selling opportunity for the next leg lower, possibly another huge dump before the end of this year. DAX, I called that low a day early. Actually, I called that on a Thursday. On Friday morning, we did spike lower, although if you follow me on Twitter, I think I did say that if the trend has changed, we will go lower in the morning and then rally up into the close, which is exactly what happened on Thursday rather. So then Friday, of course, we had this big update, which was exactly what we had expected. We did figure out that would be the low on Thursday, and then that we'd rally strongly. So although called the bottom a day too early, still it looks pretty good. Friday was a good day if you did do as suggested and jump into longs. This pattern isn't too bad at all. It does indicate to me, these three bars, that we've bottomed out for the short term at least, and we'll rally up again, just like the S&P. So I'm looking for further strength this week. Should be quite a good week for stock markets. I think we can really push on, and the week shorts have been moved out of this market now. Let's see if we can push on, but I'm looking again for selling opportunities towards the end of the month. Obviously, it's a similar story for the FTSE. We managed to hold above 60.60 on a closing basis, even though on that Thursday we did hit 60.43. But the key was a close above 60.60. Well, that was no problem at all. We just blipped down to 60.43 and pushed higher through Thursday. Friday, of course, was that strong day higher, just as all the other stock markets. And same story. I'm looking for continued gains throughout this week, possibly even next week, and then we'll see what happens into November. I'm thinking this bear trend will develop. I can only repeat myself with the Nasdaq. We've managed a week close above the 200-day moving average at least, so that's positive. Obviously, we had this spike down on Thursday, but that gave us a buying opportunity. Yep, we should continue higher, and we'll look for selling opportunities into the end of November, into the end of October rather, for November, when I'm wondering if we're going to dump again. I can't really add any more. Dow Jones did actually bottom perfectly on Thursday and Friday, 15,769. That was exactly within the band that we were looking to buy into and get long. So happy days with that one. Worked nicely again. Decent looking pattern here. Further strength expected this week.